Good evening. This is a meeting of the Groton Board of Education being held on
February 12th.
February 12th, Thursday, February 12th. It's a special meeting. In attendance is in person is Jen White, Adrian Johnson, Mitch Shibrock, Ian Thomas, and myself, Ben Washington. And online we have Dr. Andrea Ackerman, we have Jay Whitlaw, and we have Sean Corcoran. Okay. The first order of business is the public hearing on the 2026-2027 budget. We had a legal posting of the budget, and anyone that'd like to speak on the 2026-2027 budget, please come up to the podium and state your name and address for us if you like. Definitely your name. You don't have to give your address if you don't want to.
Not a problem. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Monica White, and I live at 26 Cathedral Heights in Groton, Connecticut. Sorry, I don't have to say Groton, Connecticut. You guys obviously know that. I'm the parent of a 10th and 8th grader and a 3rd grader in Groton Public Schools. I serve as the Director of Family Ministries at Noe Baptist Church, and am highly invested in the mental, physical, and spiritual well-being of the next generation. I'm here today to encourage the board to set aside budgeted funds to address the known food insecurities within our district. More than half of Groton Public School students are considered high risk and qualify for free or reduced priced meals. That statistic alone speaks to the level of need in our community. While our schools work diligently to provide meals during the school day, food insecurity does not end on Friday afternoon. Community members have partnered with a local nonprofit to begin a small but meaningful effort to fight hunger at Fitch High School. Volunteers working directly with food services have coordinated a program called Friends of Fitch. This program provides shelf-stable food items to high school students over long weekends, helping to ensure that they return to school nourished and ready to learn. It is also important to note that Groton Middle School already has an existing program in place to help address food insecurity among its students. Our organization has met with members of the Board of Education and with Jim Moran to explore implementing similar programs at other schools within the district. Those conversations were very productive and solution-focused, and we were encouraged by the shared recognition of need. However, at this time, that initiative appears to have come to a standstill. We believe that the groundwork has already been laid, and with district support and allocated funds, this effort could move forward in a structured and sustainable way. I'm asking this board to take a productive step by setting aside designated funds to the upcoming budget to support and expand efforts that address food insecurity across all grade levels. While community volunteers have stepped up in a meaningful way, solving the problem of hunger is not a volunteer issue alone. It is a systemic issue that deserves a systemic support. Again, I urge you to make addressing food insecurity a budget priority for this year. Thank you for your time and for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Kate asked if you could announce that anybody who wants to speak online to raise their hand.
Okay, I was just going to say that.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
Anyone online that would like to speak, can you please raise your hand? Anyone online that'd like to speak, can you please raise your hand? Okay. I take a motion to close public hearing. You have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Mitch. Do I have a second? Do I have a second to close the public hearing? Okay. Okay, Okay, 6:10. All those in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Sean, how are you voting?
Aye.
Aye. Jay?
Aye.
Andrea?
She has her hand up.
Aye, okay. I see your hand up. All those opposed? Abstentions? Public hearing is closed. Okay, thank you. Good evening. This is a special meeting of the Groton Board of Education being held on Thursday, February 12, 2026 at 6:37. No, that's 6:32. Okay, in attendance once again, we have Ms. Shimbrock, Adrian Johnson, the superintendent of schools, Susan Austin, myself, Beverly Washington, Dr. Anne-Marie Mancini, Jen White, Ian Thomas, Rita Posiak, Sam Kilpatrick, Lori LaPine, and Chris Kennedy in the back. We also, online, we have Dr. Ackerman, we have Jay Whitlaw, and we have Sean Cochran, along with Lauren Cassini, and that's about it. The second one is the budget work session, and we're going to start off with central office operations, and we're going to do teaching and learning, function code 2201, page 86 and 87. Mike Whitney will be joining us later. Keep an eye out for him. Page 86 and 87.
Staffing is the same, really, as the 25-26 year. For next year, 1.5 staff. There's clerical staff that is 2.3 when we added on.
Your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So, as I said, administrative staff has not changed. I think it was reclass for some of these, but I'll let Lori help me out with that. There was clerical admin staff in teaching and learning, a position, and then a portion of a position, and then there's another 0.5 position in that. So it adds up to 2.3 for the clerical administration staff.
What's that? How does the .88 equate to what, Lori?
I believe it's only comes to 0.75.
It rounds up.
It rounds up.
Oh, okay.
It's the .75.
Oh, yeah, that happened the last.
Yes, it did.
And in the notes, you see the .75 FTE is reclassed from a grant. And then really, teaching and learning falls under Dr. Mancini. And so you can see the salaries and benefits have reclassified. We're getting them all in the same place, which is great news for this budget book. And you see a lot of zeros. There's not a whole lot in this budget except for salaries. That's all it is.
Is that right? Anything? Feel free.
No, there's really not a lot to add here. Thank you, though.
All right, any questions on page 86, 87? Jen?
I think Adrian was before me, or no? It's okay. So, Rita, I don't know if you had a chance to put that grant summary together.
We do have it.
You do? Okay, yeah.
The grant summary?
No,
Yeah, did we send
Yes.
it?
I put it in the FAQ.
Okay. Okay, great. Sorry, I didn't see that. It's just one of those things, again, that we as a board, right, grants are finite positions, finite funding, and any increases as a transfer or a transfer from grants to operations, like we as a board, I would recommend that we need to approve. Right now, it's just showing 10,000 as an increase, but I don't know all the other grant related items that transition into operations, and I would like to provide that as transparency. So I will take a look, and I suggest other people looking at board notes for that.
Rita, you want to say something? Oh, I thought you said.
I'm good.
Adrian?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do we know what grant that's coming out of and what that position was specifically for?
I think it's Title II.
Well, and it's for the grants coordinator.
It's
So
for the grants
oftentimes
coordinator.
we try to do the grants coordinator in one of the grants.
Oh, all right.
So
That's
it-
very
we-
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's important. That one would get approved.
So,
Yeah,
and
it's just
sometimes,
when
as
the
one
titles
grant
go up and
goes, we
down.
try to find another grant that will carry them.
Right, we try.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to just point out here is curriculum coordinators. I know we have some curriculum coordinators, I believe, for IB and maybe some other things in the budget, but we have, how many FTEs is it?
It's a
A half
It's a
of an
half.
FTE for curriculum coordinators, which they help balance the curriculum through the middle school and the gap between middle school and high school. I believe in everything, but really in English and math, or ELA and math, I think is pretty typical. And this is for math only, right? So we have no curriculum coordinators in the
Well,
district.
she is considered a STEM coordinator, so she has a lot of responsibility. Math is not only her responsibility. She does science and other STEM, teachers. But I would say that having Ben Moon, K-5, coordinating with this position has really been a great articulation. So looking into the future about how we can continue to have a coordination structure where you either do K-5 or K-8 and then, 6-12 or 7-12. So to try to combine that would be really something for the future.
This is, she's a math coordinator.
Well, she's a STEM coordinator, but she's
But then
a
we
math,
need to change it.
well, she does the math, she's a math department chair at the high school. But she does math, she does science, she does STEM. But it's a lot. I have to say it's a lot.
Yeah, so I'll just finish by saying to have a half FTE for a district the size of ours for curriculum coordinator, and I might get this wrong, but I believe was it vertical alignment of the curriculum, which is what a curriculum coordinator does, and kind of goes into classrooms and says, maybe we're not teaching this in 8th, so we need to pick it up in 9th, or maybe we need to add it to 8th grade. So we're not funding that position, and I believe that we've historically funded that position, and it was cut a couple of years ago, correct, when we had the large budget?
We had an ELA curriculum coordinator, 612. We had a humanities that did the world language and social studies, and then we also had the STEM. And they were like a 0.5 teacher. They taught on an A day, and then on the B day they did coordination. And they're 092, so they're administrators for that other half portion, so that they were able to do some evaluations as well. But we did lose that when we lost some funding. And also people had left those positions to go to other positions, so we just didn't refill them.
Yeah, no, I'm not, I'm just saying that I believe for districts in general, it's typical to have a couple of curriculum coordinators,
We have had them in the past.
and I'm just
Yep.
wanted to point out that that's something that we've kind of lost over the years in this district, and that we're not funding anymore. I would be interested in hearing at some point, and I don't think we can do it at this point in the budget, but what we're actually missing by not having a curriculum coordinator, and maybe some of the principals at some point can talk about that, because I have heard that the curriculum coordinators are missed. So thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, moving right along. Next is page 88, 89, student mentoring program.
I know that there were supplies in this. The stipend is in salaries for the mentor coordinator, but I believe we found the funding. in
So
a
this
different
function
location.
is
Yeah.
formerly DEI,
Oh, okay.
so it's not going to be used going
Okay.
forward, even though it says student mentoring.
And we never had the stipend here. We always
Correct.
had it in the salaries. But I think that one of the things you talked about was putting it into student improvement or?
Yeah, so the new function that I created for the mentoring students is in the pupil services budget, because it's student services, it's student support, and that's where it belongs.
I'm wondering if we could put a note that the stipend is in a particular location, and then the actual expenditures or the funds for supplies are in the pupil services. That might just help, and then this will go away, right? Does that make sense to everybody?
So you're gonna put a note, say it again. Put a note.
Put a note that says that the stipend for the mentor coordinator is in salaries, and the supplies that are needed for the program are in pupil services.
And what salaries would the stipend be in?
You'll have to probably,
I mean, the stipend was never here last year, so I have to look at that.
Yeah.
And I would like to put the function.
yeah.
Yeah, so for the supplies, the function, I believe, is 2101. We went over that with Denise, pupil services.
2101.
Let me just make sure, I believe.
And then you're going to eliminate this page entirely?
Well, I was going to keep it here for history, but put notes in there, and then it'll come out the next budget book.
Okay.
Because that's,
I think
just because
that's
we need the history,
Yeah.
right?
continuity.
All right. Right away.
Quick, just a quick question, if I could. I was just looking, I wanted to kind of do I was hoping for an electronic version of the superintendent's proposed budget. Was that ever sent out?
Yeah.
It was
A
sent
couple
out?
times, I think, yeah.
Okay,
I think it's even online, but I can send it again. There's a PDF version.
Sure, is it just, if there, you remember the subject line, I can do a search for it. and
Oh,
find it
that's all right. I can probably find it quicker for you. I can send it out again.
Of the budget book?
Yeah.
If you go to the finance section of our website, it's right there.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
I've got it, I'll send it to you right now.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Next page, improvement in instruction, page 90 and 91. Is that Anne Marie's department?
So, let me just look here. Yeah, this
Yes.
is 2210, and it basically talks about improvement of instruction budget, supports new instructional materials, materials for teachers, professional resources, curriculum development, staff development, some MYP training, although most of that is being covered now in the latest DODEA grant that we received, and graduate course reimbursement, right? Lori, we've got that in there too?
Yes.
Yep.
Anne Marie's gonna talk about this.
Should that move to district-wide benefits? It shouldn't be here.
I know that the certified teacher aspect is for curriculum development, and I remember, I can't remember, Rita, did we not have it in here?
It's on the tracker, because I missed it.
It's on the tracker because we missed it, but
I missed
it
it.
will be in 101.
At 15,000?
15,000 that
Correct.
will need to go in here for teachers doing their, keeping up with the curriculum development that happens. And if you've been on a curriculum committee, you know what that's like, right?
But I do have a comment about the graduate course. That probably should be moved to district-wide benefits, because it's a benefit. Benefits should not be in any of the departmental other functions. So that 100,000, I believe should be moved to the 2399, because that's where all the benefits are.
Okay. So by the time it becomes the board's book, we'll
Yeah,
have everything.
yeah, I'll put that on the
just right
tracker.
place. Okay.
So does that mean that we're going to get a subtraction of 100 here and an addition of 100?
Yes,
Yep, all right.
on the
So
tracker.
It's not going to be a...
No, it's just going to be a wash.
No,
Yes,
that's a movement, yeah.
So where were you putting that 15,000? And
We will be adding it, so when we look at the tracker, you'll see how we've added that back. So does the tracker doesn't just subtract, it also has added on in places that we may have missed.
So
Right.
for FY '27 budget, it should say 15,000.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, Mitch, you have a question?
Yeah, which, 174.4% increase on total, just below line item 322. What is that for?
Do you have the PD numbers? I think I wrote a PD note here.
322.
Yeah.
Instructional
Page
improvement
91.
services.
Yep, and so if I remember correctly from last year, so.
I think typically what we used to spend was $25,000 for certified staff, $10,000 through special education, but now we have 18 hours required for paraeducators as well. And that, I think that also had to do with some specialized PD that we have coming in for iReady and IM, also the K-8 literacy, whatever that's going to be. We're not real sure. We're not really sure. We haven't done this through the board yet to finalize which program, but they've been piloting this.
Okay.
It sounds like
So-
the programs that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's why it's kind of a jump. We don't always have this jump, but because we're doing these K-8 initiatives this year, Mitch, and because, with our strategic plan, accelerated learning for kids is like, I know, something that's fundamental for this board and for us, so that's why it goes up like that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I know that
The increase in software?
there, yeah, and then there's a little bit of increase in travel, workshops, conventions, but it doesn't even add up to what we did in '25. And Anne Marie has spearheaded a charge of looking at PLCs, which are professional learning communities, and she's taken people out on the road, and they've done that first initial one, and it was some of the literacy specialists and she and another principal, and now they've spread it to each of the buildings. They just did this on the TLI day, and it was well received. So it's a great way to do in-house PD by creating these little learning communities and studying together and, trying things out together. So I don't know if I did a fair, because I didn't go on that field trip. But
Did a good job.
Do you want me to speak to the software, Henry?
Yeah, if you could give some of the details, because I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I do know we had an increase, for example, in one platform called Edmentum. I know we talked about that the other night. That was one that the State Department of Ed at one point picked up for several years, but recently turned back over to districts. That was an increase of at least $10,000, but I know there are a number of others that are probably included in that software line, including, iReady. I know we funded as part of that as well.
And I just want to say the reason why FY26 looks so low compared to FY25 is because FY26 was pre-funded from FY25 money. Like when you buy the software, sometimes you buy 3 years, sometimes, and also I think we had Title I funds we had to spend down, so we bought those softwares in FY25. So that's why FY26 looks so low.
Well, and it almost comes out exactly to what we had spent in 2025, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So
I just wanted, there is some shift
it's
there.
16.1%, but I think it's actually getting back to where it probably should have been. Amplify was part of it too, or something, you're writing that down.
And
Yes, and Amplify is
iReady.
something that's required by the State Department of Ed now. Believe it or not, not only do we have to, and we do this anyway, we collect data on, for example, our students' DIBEL scores, which is their, for K-3, we want to make sure we're monitoring our students' reading progress. But the State Department of Ed is requiring that all districts purchase a platform, and we submit their scores through that platform to the State Department of Ed.
But they didn't pay for it, did they?
No, they did not pay for it.
Just saying. But it was a good thing because we thought of it even before they did.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, next
I
is,
know this isn't central office, but the next page was the media services, and I looked back and my little tabs that I have, and we didn't talk about that, but we have library media specialists in each of our schools.
what page?
And this is on 92 and 93.
Okay.
And so most of this is in staffing for our media specialists. But there are some computer software, not nominally, and some supplies nominally, but there are library books. And the library books look pretty close to what we had, estimate or budgeted for 2026. So it is important that they keep up in their libraries. There was a time, I think, when they weren't always spending money on the library books, but they're trying to do that.
Jen?
So FTEs remain flat across the board, and the salary increase is greater than, let's say, the max is 4.5%.
Right. So then that's just, what I've learned is it's just the calculation of who's really sitting in the seat, and then the step increases that they might have had. If you've negotiated this contract in the middle, like about the 11th, 12th year, there's a double bump that goes up. So, it probably is the factor of the step increases that people are getting beyond the 4.4.
Mitch? You all set, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, just to make sure I'm reading this book correctly, we have on page 93, accounts 103 through 149, and then we have a percent column to the right of that of 9.4%. And is that the sum increases in percent of all the line items above where that 9.4% appears?
Yes.
That's what I'm reading.
That's
Okay.
the increase from the total budget of salary and wages in this function from FY26 to FY27. And I just want to point out, it looks like we're going to be over budget this year. So that could account for some of that increase. If you look at the projected at 672 and the budget is 618, but I can relook at the encumbrances to make sure that the encumbrances are accurate, but that could be part of the 9.4%.
I was just trying to make sure I
Yep.
was
But
interpreting.
the 9.4 is last year's budget versus the new
And
budget.
there was a new library media specialist just hired, and one that had been here for a while who left. So there was
So if there was turnover,
someone had gone, moved out of state, and so when you do that too, there's a lot of factors that go into why this might go up or down.
So you don't have a percent in row 103, 111, 120. You don't have an individual percentage in
No,
those.
it's the total, when you look at
Okay.
the total. But you can see the driver.
I can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing that up, Mitch. That was one of the things that we talked about, maybe refining about the budget book in the future, is having like the percents per line available so that, if someone wanted to look at line 103 and see the percent changes in just that line, they could get a sense of it. And that might also help kind of explain the average increase overall, where you might be able to see that, there's a spike here, a drop there.
Yep. I mean, I can sit here with my calculator and figure it out, but
Hopefully,
it'd be
Or you can
easier.
figure it out in your head.
in the future, we could have some software that would just
Adrian
do it
likes
for
I
us.
hope so. Yes, that is the plan
Yeah, we don't want
for next year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we want to get away
because
from
that's a lot of,
That's a lot of math.
it's just a lot of formulas in
Yes.
that, in the spreadsheet that we're using right now.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw your face when you was talking.
Yeah, I know.
I was just like, no, I'm hoping the software does that because,
Yeah.
it's going to do a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah,
Adrian,
that's true.
Are you all set, Mitch?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to point out what Rita was saying here. 2 years ago, it was 634 for that line was what the actual spend was. So
Right.
we're only up 8% in 2 years. So I think
Right.
I think we were under budgeted. It's not an actual increase in spending, it's just an increase in the budget.
Okay, moving right along.
Thank you.
Nothing else?
Okay, so the next one is.
What do our library technicians spend overtime on? I'm just wondering, because like, would they be there during the times the kids are there? Like, when would they stay over?
The library technicians are not hourly. It's the other technicians, the IT staff in the buildings,
Got it. Thank you.
right? Library medias are,
The media staff,
it's all media staff, okay?
but it's the central office media staff.
Oh, okay.
Which, if I could just, to be clear, like that is the people that help support operating this sort of running this operation,
Yeah.
as well as also, right.
Yes, absolutely.
And also, they help with the events at the school after hours as well.
Correct.
And then the Board of Ed budget on page 94 and 95.
Most of what you see in the Board of Ed budget is the CAPE dues. And the CAPE dues, also, does that also include conference?
And the conference fees, the 331 is the conference fees.
Okay, 331 is the conference.
Mhm.
Any questions on
I noticed there's no salaries in here. You know,
No. Thank you.
No stipends.
point that out.
that? I would get paid a lot. You know.
Right.
They're getting a bargain.
All right, next is page 96, 97, superintendent's office.
So there's a superintendent and an assistant superintendent administratively. And then there are the clerical people who help support both offices, both Anne Marie, Dr. Mancini's, and mine. But interesting, in addition, there is also people who are in registration linked to this. This happened last year too, and I had to just let you know that. I don't know if that needs to be in a note, but so it does include some other clerical people as well.
Yeah, that should be in the note.
So, and then you can see we've got a lot of zeros. You know, we kind of kept, we did that last year, and so we kind of kept with that theme. There's very little between the two of us for travel to workshops and conventions, so we'll have to use our grants for that if we need to go, or if it's something related to that. There is still food, and some of that is to take care of some of the opening day and take care of, negotiations with the board and that kind of thing. So it's used really district-wide. And
What about the 86,000 increase for 114? Did you hire another person?
did we add anybody in there we have a second person in the enrollment, in registration. That was the second person. Not that that's their salary only, it's just, no, but, there are other increases too, to the salaries.
So that's a second person.
A second person.
What's other increase? Go ahead, Mindy.
Is that person somehow related to the line 134 person temp? That's a negative?
I believe that was in the temp category previously. Yes.
Okay.
I think that's an offset.
Good eyes, Mitch. I have to think about who they are. So then when we get down to general supplies, my group can't even get paper and pencils. So I don't know, I'm going to have to go to Staples myself.
You have to go to some conferences.
I have to go by,
and
like
pick
this
up-
one.
Pick up the
UConn.
pens.
Yeah.
Try to rope quick.
I do have,
But we just kind of rolled with what we did last year, so you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Rita wants to say something.
yeah, I just want to say that I think I should add a note about the postage through the postage, advertising, and printing was moved to $23.99, the district-wide, because you'll see that in the upcoming pages.
You,
Okay?
I forgot.
Yeah, I have to add that in the notes.
So it's postage, advertising,
And I believe printing,
Went to $23.99.
yes, district.
yeah, let's put a note in that, because it'll really look. And then the dues, I have the caps, of course, and then there's another small fee for the national group. I have MISA, which is the very instrumental impact aid group for superintendents, so that we get our scoop with impact aid changes, and so that's been really great. They've really come to our support in multiple times, and they work with Washington. And I wrote something, I can't even read it. But that's the dues and fees
Any questions?
for superintendent.
Adrian?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if we can get, for line 114, because I feel like we talked about this and we never really understood just a line of what those positions are. Not necessarily who, obviously, but
Right.
but just because it seems like there's been no FTE changes. The number's been all over the place over the years, so I'm guessing there's just inaccuracies in the budget. But
That's
just so
cool.
we can know which positions those actually were.
So they are the people that support my office and registration, so there's 4 people.
All right.
Just put it in the notes.
Yeah. if you-
And also in the notes, there were some reclassified to HR. So when you're looking at FY '25, it's going to throw you off because HR staff are in there. Am I correct?
So we had to split them
Yeah,
out,
the
remember that?
receptionist was.
Yeah.
So it went from one place to another.
Yeah, so and that's another thing that we've talked about in the past too, was having a bit more of a breakout when it comes to positions, like maybe by title or classification and number of, like, so if there's clerical assistants, there's 2 clerical assistants or something like that as a drop down for, for clerical administration, like what are the titles of the positions, not by name, but by title, so that we get a sense of like, where the FTEs are placed. And I'm not, that was,
But they are all admin assistants, so that is their
That's the
title.
yeah.
That's why, I can say 2 registration and 2, but I can add to that if you actually want.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, that way, like, if they do move from one department to
Oh,
another.
I see what you're saying,
We can
yeah.
track it, like, oh, well, one moved, there it is, yeah.
You said E?
Yep, thank you.
Mitch?
I think I heard somebody say this, but I missed it. The food supplies were for what?
So that, the opening day, we usually serve coffee and to staff. And then there's other things that we do. I think we do the celebration for the arts here, when we have the families in. So it's more family engagement. And then there's negotiations where when, board and staff are working together with negotiations, we do that.
Award night? When we
Or
do the
award night,
awards?
the awards night.
Okay.
Retirement reception, I think we have to do a little bit.
And we work through the food services, so we do get good deals and things like that, so.
But it's a 200% increase. Excuse me,
no.
sorry, that's a $200 increase.
Yeah, $200.
Okay, I'm good.
We need those percentages there, right?
4,800.
You're thinking those percentages are there.
It was in my head. The percentage.
It's like those sandwiches don't work that way.
Well, if you look, this year I have 4,800, and we've already gone through 3,300, so I've got to tighten the belt, so to speak. But it does happen more in the beginning of the year, middle of the year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody online have any questions? Next is the business office, page 98, 99. At your office, you is.
Yes.
I'm sure you can talk about
So
it.
for the FTEs, there's just a change from a clerical to an accounting supervisor. I think we spoke about that when we went over the budget codes a few weeks ago. And,
At the 129, right?
yeah, that's what's moving to the 129 object code.
There's still
Should it say accountant and not accountant?
Oh, yeah, accounting, yeah.
accountant.
Sorry about that.
You might just even want to,
Well, I think what's missing is accounting supervisor, but that's the title. I will fix that,
On the 129,
yeah,
it should say accounting supervisor.
yeah. I'll fix that.
Learn to stow your person. They just hired an accountant.
Did they?
They went to Indeed, and that's everything.
We have some candidates that we're going to be interviewing in the next couple weeks, so I'm excited about that.
So this position is not filled yet.
No, I have temps right now that are doing the work, because the work still needs to get done, but the accounting supervisor is more of someone to watch the accounting, help me approve things, because it's just, there's a lot of approvals that I do daily.
and even more with the town review and with Rita's work.
And with Munis, and, you know,
Really
we just have a lot of,
cross-checking, you
Yeah.
know, more than one person supervising all of that, so.
just another level, because all my staff right now are just accountants. We do that middle level to help with, you know.
Right, and if my memory serves, like we talked about that last year when you first came on, about reserving some money for you to hire an extra position if you felt it was necessary. And is that the position? Is
Yeah,
that-
we've had the same, positions.
before you?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good to hear.
yeah.
But it's not an additional from last year.
No, it's just, we're just filling all the spots that needed to be filled.
It was an FTE that was budgeted for and now.
Correct.
Right,
Right.
very good.
You'll say. Anything else?
No, she's got a lot of zeros too, but I think some of them did.
Now, the professional services are typically the audit fees that we get from the town.
So that's our share, the audit.
Some of it is, sometimes if I need a temp, a little bit of that would be temp, but most of it's the audit. I think almost 50,000 is the audit.
And then computer software, that was that new platform.
Yeah, so the budget module that is going to help with the budget book for next year. And that's about it. I did increase my supplies because we need supplies. We can't live on $500 or $1,000.
So you increase
Just
the supplies.
Just because, we have W-2s, we have checks, we have envelopes. We print,
Mailing, I don't know.
we print checks, so, we print, I think that was the only increase there, so.
Any questions? We'll be interested to see how this software works out next year. Especially evening.
I'm very excited.
I-
This year we're going to be online with Munis?
No, not Munis, the Alibi is the budget software.
Oh, okay.
July 1st, we are beginning the, start, we're not going to be online with Munis next year, but July 1st, we're going to start having meetings and start the transition of converting.
Excellent.
And Clint
Hi,
and
Clint.
Rita are super excited about this.
It is exciting, but it's a long process for the Munis.
Yeah.
Cartwheels. All right, any other questions about the business office? Okay, moving right along, page 100 and 101, and that's your office, Lori.
Yes, this is my area. So I wanted to start off to clarify on the FTEs. When we were reviewing the book, we did find an error in the payroll file. We don't have 5 FTEs. We have 4.5. And there's a corresponding salary decrease because what happened was one of the staff members that are part-time was in the payroll file as full-time.
And you'll see that on the tracker.
So the tracker will show the reduction in salary. the corresponding reduction in salary, because both the FTE was up and the salary was up. So
So those numbers are going to change?
yes, those numbers are going to change. So when you look at the salary line, it's not an 11.5 increase. I did some quick math, I think, after we the adjustment, taking that additional salary out for the one that's coded as full-time, not half-time, I think it's around 2.5%. So that's that. The rest of the expenses are either, fairly flat. We've taken some reductions wherever we felt we could. So I don't know if anybody had any specific questions, but that's really kind of the highlight. Oh, I will point out the receptionist is half-time, and she was reclassed into HR, which is why it's 4.5.
When you say that person spent half the year in one job and then half the year and half the year is classified as one position and then the other half as another position?
I was talking about two different positions. So there's an HR staff member who was in the payroll file as full-time and really is half-time. So that's the adjustment that Rita will go over on the tracker because we had to reduce the salary. And then the other position is a half-time receptionist that was in the 2312 that was reclassed into HR in this budget. So it's a half-time receptionist. So two different positions I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions for Lori? You want to add anything to that? Okay. Susan, you want to add anything?
No. Everybody kind of did their part in streamlining this and doing what they could.
Next is district-wide, 102, 103, function 2399. What is that? I can tell you do it.
1,700 changed to 2399 for state reporting precincts.
Page 102, 103.
Say that again, sorry. I was making
So
notes.
function PC, I learned a lot from her. 2399 district-wide services, remember we were calling it 1,700
Yeah,
work for state reporting.
Yeah, in last year's budget book, it was under 1799.
You want to talk about this, Rita?
So this is all the district-wide, all the negatives you saw in all the departments coming down and being centralized into one place. So we'll be adding unemployment from 1119 and the one we just talked about in the improvement of instruction, I think it was graduate courses reimbursement. So there's going to be a couple additions here. But the graduate, anything that's in the 200 is a benefit. So I don't want them in the other categories. They should be in the 2399 because at the end of the year I spread it out based on all the staff. If that makes sense. Do you have any questions? There are some things on the tracker that are updated numbers, but if you have questions on it.
Legal services are all in one place.
Correct.
What's the difference between lines 201 and 202?
So the other is the OPEB, which is, it probably should be labeled OPEB
Yeah.
going forward, I think. In the past, they didn't always use it for OPEB, but the last 2 years, that's what we've been separating. It's
I have no idea.
other post-employment benefits, so retirees.
Okay.
That's our contribution to the health insurance for them, if that makes sense.
Jen, Mitchell, you all set?
We contribute to the, you mean their pension?
No, the retired health care,
So we pay for that after they retire?
we pay for some of it. It's
Okay.
contracted.
That was me. I shouldn't be hungry.
Are you all set?
Thank you.
Because we're in a self-insured plan, so we got to make sure that there's two different funds. There's a fund for active employees, and then there's a fund for OPEBs. And we have to make sure that OPEB fund doesn't go in the negative, basically.
Do the retirees pay into it?
Yes, they do too in TIB. We get money from the state, for teachers' retirement. The retirees give us money, and then this is our contribution. So it's a bunch of funding sources that go into that.
And it's to make sure we isolate the cost of the claims for the
Retirees, they have to be separate.
really just separating the funds between the active and the retired.
Which my company is.
I knew you were gonna.
Saw that coming.
Okay, thank you.
Jen,
So Rita, did we not budget for Social Security and Medicare last year?
No, but it was all done in the functions. It was all in the separate functions, so you know all the function pages have negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah.
That's where.
That's where it was.
Oh, are we gonna, you know how like you come in and, should we do a budget transfer just so that like this shows in the right spot? So that when we're doing budget to budget
The
comparison.
problem is it gets charged to the functions.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, so it rolls up in my report by object, if that makes sense. It's not going to all get charged as $23.99. Unfortunately, our payroll system that we currently have doesn't have the capability to do it. When we go to Munis,
You
it
will.
will all get charged to the centralized.
Okay, so in next year's budget, we'll do the transfer.
Couple years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
When we get to payroll, yeah, that's the good thing about the Munis has some features that e-finance doesn't have.
Okay.
And it has to do with the payroll side, yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Right, and it makes it clear, yeah.
Adrian, you section?
Yes.
Adrian?
Yeah, so OPEB, is that like retirees from a long time ago? Because for some reason I remember that there was a separation, like maybe it was between contracts or something, where retirees weren't eligible for Medicare.
That was a WAD,
Social Security.
87, pre-1985-ish, yeah.
86.
So is that what
They're
OPEB
still-
funds, is the people that are still in that
They
bracket?
they are not eligible for Medicare.
They are in that group, yes.
Yes, they are in that
Right, so
group.
it's more than just that
It
group?
could be people that aren't eligible yet, you know, they're 55 to 65,
Yeah,
or in that bracket of they weren't paying into Social Security
yeah, all
or
right.
Medicare.
All right. And then the other question I had, we talked about the substitute teachers. Was that going to be moved into this?
No, I can't put the substitute teachers in a function that starts with 2.
All right.
It has to be in the 1119. I was thinking of renaming that 1119, calling it unclassified, calling it district-wide instructional services or something like that. But the issue with doing that is some schools still use it, so I want to phase that out this coming year of the schools using that 1119, and that way we could have all the substitutes in the 1119. You'll see it on the budget tracker that I am moving it into that unclassified.
Oh, all right.
But it has to be in a 1,000 because it's instruction.
So is that district-wide 1119?
Yes.
Is that, all right.
Yeah, it's currently called unclassified.
Well, it's currently called unclassified.
Yeah, but that's a district-wide cap.
It is, but some schools still have it in their, the departments still have it, so I want to remove it during the next year.
Yeah.
And they're putting paper there or something like that, you know, so I want to move all of those accounts out of there.
Yeah. All
Does that
right.
make sense?
Yep. Yep, thank you.
Spring cleaning.
Sean, you have a question?
Yes, I do. How are you all today? Sorry I can't be there in person. I know that in one of the past recent board meetings, we discussed the anticipated retirements. I'm just wondering if there's any update there, and if that's being factored in to capture possible attrition savings across staffing, and just make sure that our assumptions align with backfill of hiring positions.
Yeah, that's already been factored, all the retirements that we know of to date has been factored.
The ones that had until, I think it was January.
January 15th.
January 15th. Okay.
You'll see on the tracker, there's 2 extra that came in, yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, any other questions for page 102, 103? All right, moving right along.
And for some reason, we had all of our administrators come and talk about elementary and secondary, but here are the people who run our schools in our district, and the clerical support on the page 104 and 105. including even our security folks. It looks like we have an increased 1.0 FTE for school secretaries at Groton Middle and Fitch High School, and increased security hours from 25 hours to 29. So you might see increases in those areas. But altogether, the administrative account with, principals and clerical and substitutes and no substitutes, you can see. Now that's only, when I look across at the substitute line, there's nothing in there. So I don't know if that was a line that got shifted, the 120.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it was ever in 2410, but
But it's 3.9% for the salaries.
right.
And, nothing jumps out at us. There's a 5% increase in professional services. Now, these all come through the site budgets, too. So, but if you look, it went from 144 in 25 to 155 in 26, and now 163. So it's just coming in through the school budgets. And then you've got a 5.9 increase for travel, and it looks like for workshops. So that also comes through the site budget. So when principals have initiatives or we have initiatives, they put it through their schools. And then the one that really stuck out was an additional instructional equipment. And when we checked on that, the principal said that that could definitely be reduced. So it's really a 1.2% increase. Yeah, reduced to 1.2%. It was reduced to 1,500, and it went up from 1,000 to 1,500.
Which
So
line
it's not-
are you talking
It
about?
went from 1,000 to 6,000.
Yeah, but on the tracker, you'll see an adjustment.
Oh, and then,
Yeah,
Because
it's being adjusted.
we saw that it went up 500%. And so we made an adjustment on the tracker.
And we talked to them.
Yeah, we talked to the principal about it.
all right, so.
So that's 735.
Let's be clear then.
Okay.
So this line 735 is not correct.
It's going to go down to 1,500.
Okay, so I'm going to scratch off the 6,000, but 1,500.
And that's what came in, that we spoke to the principal, and we're going to reduce it to 1,500.
So only went up $500.
Yep.
Correct.
Thank you.
Sometimes those big numbers jump out.
Those big
People
percentages.
in town are looking at that, right? But,
Any questions on this page?
So you said that 500% goes to 1.5%?
1.2? What is
I
it?
can do the math
Yeah,
myself.
do the math.
It is 1.5.
But
yeah.
All right.
you'll see it on the tracker. Yeah, well, yeah.
Any questions? Sam.
Sam,
Sam's turn.
106 to 107.
All right, Sam, you have a lot of pages. All right, Sam, you want to talk about your budget? So Sam's budget starts at 107, and then it's 108, 109, and that's where it ends.
It's on page 107.
The FTEs, your staffing you could talk about. You added what, either four part-time people or two full-time people.
We're part-timers, cleaners for the buildings. The rest remain the same.
What did you,
See the maintenance.
anybody at the high school? And at the middle school? Yeah. You have a -1.
You want me to talk about
Middle
that?
school.
Yeah.
So,
And then
yeah,
2.5.
I'm going to talk about that because of this, the moving around of custodians. Totality remained the same, but when I pulled it from payroll, there were ups and downs in the high school. That doesn't mean that they're not there, okay? So I just want to point that out. In totality, it should be the same in total.
They move around quite a bit.
Because they move
across the
around.
year, so I wouldn't pay attention to the individual schools as long as the total's there. They'll all level out, it's just they get moved around a lot.
Why did we, it looks like we hired 2 in the elementary schools. Why?
Well, those were the
Those were the part-timers, I think, or two first.
Why you hired them?
Okay.
Why did you hire 2 new people then?
Those were to get back to the numbers that we had pre-COVID in those buildings. Buildings are used a lot more than they were previously, and a lot more activity in those buildings presently than they were previously.
Okay, so there was a need. Thank you.
So clerical admin, number 144. Clerical admin, number 144. Are you planning on removing your admin, or was it transferred to like central office? I see, it's like a budget of 0.
Are you on page 107?
I don't see it.
108.
Oh, 108.
108, it's on line 144.
That's overtime.
That's overtime.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I see the admin assistant at 1, which we had last year. It's just 1.
Yeah, no, I was
Looking
just
at
making
144.
sure that, like, we weren't removing the person.
No, the person's still there.
So we're not expecting any overtime. Since it's 0 on 144.
I believe
trying-
most of the overtime has been cut, right?
Yeah,
For all the departments, not
for all the
just...
departments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
Well,
conversation.
for
we had
clerical,
years ago.
but custodial, you still have
Well, custodial, we're going to, right?
Yeah.
Because of the snow. No, not,
Yeah.
no, but for
Fair
clerical.
point.
You
Fair
can't do
point.
that.
Fair point.
Emergencies come in through the clerical.
And even in my department, I can't totally cut it because
Right.
You can't control the snow.
we can't control the snow.
Oh, right.
But it snows and you have to do payroll, they have to come in.
Payroll, audit, town review, and budget,
Right.
all the things.
So Sam, why the increase in professional services on line 331? Is that because we have people come in and do some consulting?
Yeah, they're outside contractors that we have come in and do the work, and that's a slight increase on what they charge for that, yes. Those are the estimates that they gave me.
And weren't you saying something about not having a locksmith, but you go out and you have to hire?
Yeah, we haven't been able to replace the locksmith that retired, and so we have to use contract services for that, which we didn't have to do previously. It was all within our in-house. There are some things we can do, like locksmith-wise, but a lot of it is specialized work in locksmithing.
Did the heating and plumbing repairs, did that just get moved over to heating and plumbing supplies?
Which number are you looking at?
434 and 654. Was that just like a movement, or? Because one went down like 121 and then the other side went up like 145.
I think that did get moved, Rita, didn't it?
Well,
Trying to remember.
we have an adjustment on the tracker for heating and plumbing.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we do. But I think, Jen, to your point, the first one you're talking about is basing it off of an increase of this year, what's projected for this year. But the 654, we have an adjustment on the tracker for that. I believe. Double check.
expecting to pay more in fuel oil instead, and more in propane. And do we have enough in electricity, do you think, Sam or Rita? It's an increase, but it will be enough, hopefully.
I believe I did a 5%, or,
I think it was 5.
I mean, it's an estimate. It's really hard to know with electricity.
Mitch?
Sewerage. That's an interesting word, but aside from that,
It's been there forever.
so who are we paying sewerage? I'm guessing it's the town of Groton.
Town of Groton.
That's right, yeah.
That is correct.
You think they'd give us a deal? So we're certain it's a $10,000 increase? Or is that a guess based on past?
That's, yes.
Okay.
Are you upset, Mitch?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
491, building protection. What is that?
Yeah, it's based on the actual that we spent this year, so.
But what's the company?
Is that fire protection?
It's fire.
Fire protection?
It's the fire. Can't think of the vendor name. Do you know, Sam? That's the fire.
Yes, I know it.
I don't know it.
I'm driving home tonight, I will call you.
It's the alarm, and they have to come out and inspect.
Is
Like,
it EMT or?
Is it Bartel?
No.
There's lots of them. There's Firematic. There's all kinds.
Yeah, I
don't
can't think
know
of
the
it.
name. Yeah.
Do they come out and inspect our
yeah,
fire?
it's required that
Systems.
they have to come out and inspect the systems.
But it actually went
decrease.
down.
A
We said
decrease.
at the same time, it went down.
But I still didn't know what it was, building protection.
Well, it did go down because we're not spending, in the last 2 years, we're not spending what was projected.
Right.
It's
Do
good.
they charge you, is it a contract, or do they charge you every time they come out?
Typically, it's a contract with maintenance, and then they charge you if you have issues.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on this page?
Anything with the liability insurance, Rita? With,
So it's weird that the liability insurance is in 2510. I was going back and forth whether to move that to district-wide, because I don't feel it should be in Sam's,
Yeah.
but it is property, so I left it there. I go back and forth, because I'm used to it being in district-wide.
and we've talked about this. This is that increase that we were made aware of from the town, taking on more percentage of what we owed with these new.
Right, at the last increase.
So from now on, we can count on is this the 812,000? Is that going to be going forward? Or
No,
is it-
well, they increase every year, but we're not going to have that property percentage increase
Okay.
after this year, after FY '27.
So it won't be this big.
Won't be as big.
Last year of it, right?
Correct, it won't be as big.
We're adjusted now. So
They're adjusted to, right.
If you want to take it out of mine, you can have it.
Do you want it? You don't want to keep it?
It doesn't
I
matter.
would agree, because it's not like something you can control, Sam.
I just think it should go where $23.99 is provided by, a lot of the numbers are provided by the town, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I think it should be in $23.99. I
think
can move
so.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe,
you move it to $23.99?
because it's not like something Sam's procuring on his own or controlling.
Like I said, I think it was there just because of the properties. And it is operational and maintenance of the properties, but I was toying with it, as you
We're
can
just
see.
making you look better, Sam. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if we don't do our job well enough, it gets charged to me one way or the other, right?
Right. So, we all in consensus, what?
Include
I'm sorry.
overtime?
It's okay.
The same salary include overtime?
Sam's?
Sam's overtime is on his own time. Just like the rest of us sitting around this table.
It was 160 in FY '25, and then it went down in 22nd. So that's
There are some benefits at the end of the year.
I'll try and do better this year.
Probably shouldn't go there, it should go to,
Lumped in some things, yes, in FY '25.
So fuel oil is, sorry.
Heating and plumbing supplies, it's a $145,000 increase. What exactly is that?
you're gonna see it in the tracker, but what it was the HVAC testing that we're gonna try to do CIP. It was a required HVAC testing increase.
State request.
State required,
For those unfunded mandates.
unfunded mandate.
It's a testing increase. Do we hire a company? I thought we were talking earlier, I thought we hire a company to do that.
It shouldn't have been in supplies. That-
Okay,
yeah,
word supplies is what threw me off. Okay, thank you.
correct.
Any other questions for Sam?
Just the fuel, can I point out the fuel oil? Because the fuel oil, 633, if you look at what we paid in '25, but what we, here we go again. Here's what we budgeted for this year's 201, but we've already spent it, and we're not done with winter. So next year, we put it up to 301. It looks like it's $100,000 more, but if you compare it to '25, which was 2 years ago, you know, it's like $13,000 more, 13,000, you know, $14,000 more. So it's really not that big a jump. It's just that we didn't really put enough in there.
Didn't they prepay too? I thought like one of his contracts was like he was going to charge it to 2025 so that the payment, it wasn't going to be as high in 26.
I have to look at that.
I thought
there was
he
the
did
diesel.
Something like that.
I always get messed up whether it was a diesel for the transportation or whether it was fuel oil, so I gotta look and see. I'm putting a
So that's
note.
why like 2025 is higher, I thought.
That's why at one point we talked about trying to differentiate the two between fuel oil and like the heating oil and like fuel for vehicles.
No, I'm just saying that the fuel oil, I'm not sure which one the prepayment was on, the fuel oil or the diesel.
Oh, okay.
So I want to figure that out and then maybe put a note in the, you know, in the budget book of why it was so high in FY25. We're not there yet in FY26. So I have to look at the payments history.
I don't know if this answers your question, Ian, but in 656 is gasoline for vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question.
So we have gasoline.
Yeah, that's the for vehicles.
Gasoline and or diesel for the bigger truck
That
that we
would
have.
cover the
but yeah.
diesel for the trucks that are diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gasoline means diesel in that context. Got it. Okay.
But I was talking about the transportation fine.
You all set?
Yes.
All set?
Oh, and I just gotta say, I gotta get going soon, so jump back in remotely when we get back to my next location.
Okay.
But I gotta move. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Oh, Adrian.
Yeah, so, Sam, it doesn't look like we have any money in here for replacement trucks or anything like that. Where would that normally be? Would that normally be in here?
I've always had it in there previously, but this year we put it in as a CIP to replace a couple of vehicles.
We were
All right.
told by John Burt that we could do
So the town told us to put in that CIP?
Well, the town does, they replace their vehicles through a CIP, so that's where we put it
And it
this year.
sounds like they're in the same situation we are from what we heard at the RTM last night, that they, you know, everybody did a great job with the snow plowing, but they're down trucks too.
But if it wasn't here, it'd be in the 736.
All right, so that's why that's... All right, and then I was just going to mention the other thing where, so there is on the next thing when we get to pupil transportation, it says fuel for school buses.
Yeah, that's where I thought we
So,
should pay it.
you know, the confusing thing last year, it was called gasoline for school buses. So I think that's why the gasoline thing, if we're going back in our head. So we got that straightened out this year. But,
Okay, any other questions for Sam? Sam the man. Nope. All right, Mr. Kennedy. Oh, wait, no,
No, it's still Sam, the man.
Not a signature anymore, right?
How we got
Is it
parentheses in this one.
All right, Sam.
Okay, so you see that in the FTEs is a reduction in the school bus aides. They are required for special needs kids, and this is what the allotment, what's needed presently, what we expect to have for next year, the FTEs.
It could change.
It could change. It changes.
It could change daily,
Yeah.
and sometimes does. But all the rest of the staff is the same. Everything remains the same. Two bus coordinators, and the number of bus aides district-wide remain the same.
Special ed contract, that went down $203,000.
Will it be enough?
The special ed
I-
contracted.
Yeah, I am a little concerned about the transportation. What was done was we went off of the FY26 budget and added the increase of the STA increase, which is 3.8%, but that doesn't always cover everything when you're, but the other transportation is homeless, and we never know who can do that. STA a lot of the times can't do that transportation, so we're constantly looking for different vendors.
We have 3 or 4 different vendors.
Right now.
And
Well, and you look at 511 to 512, the special ed transportation other, which is your curtain and everything.
Right.
That's up 142, so,
Yeah.
you know, where maybe several students, or you had transportation on the STA bus for special ed children, there might be more taking curtain. So that goes up and the other goes down.
Any questions on this page?
So for the homeless, is it just for like the Fitch students because they're near graduation? Or is it
No, it's any students.
all schools?
Any
If your
student.
child was in Groton and you become homeless, they are still your children.
we have, we're sharing the cost of a kid from Norwich, for instance, that becomes homeless, ends up in a hotel in Groton, and we'll share the cost with Norwich on that.
It's the law.
So, and vice versa, if a Groton kid ended up in another town, we'd share that expense with them. And of course, it's a a cab or whatever to get them.
But their home school, before they went homeless, it still is their home school.
Right.
Until they establish new residence.
Until you
Right.
establish residency, yeah.
And I actually created that account. There was nothing in previous years because I feel that it should be transparent and separate. Because it is McKinney-Vento law that we have to provide that, so that you guys know what the costs are.
Any questions? Okay. Now, next is
Now it's going back to
page 112, 113, and 114, function 2540.
All right, hi, everybody. Page 112, only change is clerical staff. We lost our 1.0 clerical staff, I believe it was 2, if not 3 years ago now, and this is a standing request to get half-time back. This person typically runs works in the IT department for obviously purchasing support, inventory support, and has been traditionally been our triage point for help desk, which we have done without or used with others since then. So that's the increase you see there.
Does that correspond to the $26,000 on line 114?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, do you want me to stay on 112 or can I go to 113?
If there's no questions, we'll go to 113.
Okay, so the things I'd like to highlight, certainly happy to answer any and all questions. I think the first most important thing for the board to know, we've discussed this, but just to reiterate, we are in year 4 of a 4-year lease for all certified staff laptops, which is their bread and butter, what they use for communications, planning lessons, et cetera, et cetera. As I've mentioned previously, but I'll be brief, we are also facing a very challenging purchasing environment with the price of equipment, standard equipment that goes in these laptops, RAM, hard drives, et cetera. As I've mentioned previously, tariffs and the change in the supply chain with many companies moving their supply chain to support these large AI data centers, we're seeing extraordinary increases in the costs. So what this budget reflects, and as well as supplemented with DODEA, which we've discussed, has taken on the burden for some technology-related non-instructional purchases in the past. This budget allows us to purchase those laptops outright, which was the original plan, as well as fund a year 1 of a new lease. The reason we would do that is those laptops are very valuable to us, and we can purchase them off that lease, repair them, change them to Chromebooks for students, add them as extra machines in classrooms, etc. It also gives us, depending on how this goes, a backup plan where if the budget gets tight, we could put those in service for a 5th year with staff. Now, obviously, that's not a perfect situation. It's year 4, and we're already seeing degradation in batteries and wear and tear and so forth. But as a backup plan, I'd like those to stay. I don't think it's worth sending those all back since we've spent money on them for the last 4-year lease and taking care of them and so forth. So I'm trying to leave it flexible. Now, the dollar figure that we put into the budget was, as of the time, the value of the purchase cost of those laptops off a fair market value lease, and that was when I first submitted this budget. That obviously normally would come down over time, the fair market value in November versus the fair market value in June when we have to finish the lease and pay it off should be drastically different. 8 months older, that should come down and so forth. I'm not convinced we're going to see a significant decrease in that fair market value just because of this context where current equipment is seen as more valuable. All that being said, I want to make sure the board is aware of the variables that I'm thinking about and juggling to make sure that we're covered for next year. So again, perfect situation. We buy out the lease. These are laptops we use for students, for administrative, as backups and so forth, and we begin a new lease for those certified staff. Because in a perfect world, I would love to continue a cycle of ideally a 3-year lease. This board decided to go 4-year lease when we did this to spread those payments out and have a cheaper yearly payment and so forth. Sorry, your question.
How many units?
We're talking approximately 740 units.
Okay, because then that could cover most of the high school or Groton Middle or...
From a student or staff perspective?
Student perspective.
It could. The beauty of this is we can turn them into Chrome OS devices, so it would be the exact same hardware, but instead of running Windows, where we're paying a yearly license to Microsoft, it becomes a Google-ified Chrome OS device, which matches every other Chromebook in the district. So yes.
Considering our Chromebooks are like 9 years old.
We've done away with most of those.
Okay.
The board has been supportive of that, and we've been doing grade by grade. So half of the Chromebooks 6 through 12 are either 1 or 2 years old.
Oh, good, good.
Others are a little older. But we try to bunch those by grade level, so we're not picking and choosing and so forth. So yes, it is imperfect, but it is getting better, and this board has been supportive of us chipping away at that year over year.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Which line item is that?
The current, if you look at leasing, where is it? Somebody help me.
Rentals.
Rentals.
Yeah, sorry.
441.
So that
Okay,
that
thank
includes
you.
the proposed budget for that. Again, it's that is.
It says rentals, but it's leasing too.
Thank you.
So that's, okay.
So that's the Chromebooks.
That line, that rental purchase would be the cost of, we included in the operating as opposed to in DODIA, the cost of a year one lease for all new certified staff laptops.
And then it was non-instructional equipment that was the buyout, right?
Correct.
Where is that?
That's in 700s.
But that was,
Oh, that's
731.
Correct.
And that was priced at $295.
no, that's the total for that. No, the
For that budget. but-
Yeah. The buyout price for all of those laptops, again, in November, fair market value price that I got in November, so 8 months prior to what we would be buying in June for a fair market value was 128-ish.
So this is the staff's laptops? you
Correct.
said?
Certified staff, yes.
Certified staff? Okay. What are we doing with the students?
Students all have purchased Chromebooks. 6 through 12, we have a one-to-one model where they have them 24/7, and we do our very best to make sure they're all up and running. But as you can imagine, they see a lot of wear and tear when they're transporting between class, between home, and so forth. And the model K to 5 is the upper grade levels in elementary have Chromebook carts. The lower grade levels in elementary have carts of iPads, touch devices, if you will.
Okay. So I was wondering if there was going to be another line item on here, and I guess there's not.
Yeah,
Thank
but, okay.
Mike, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for explaining this. My one question is the nature of the leasing agreement. I vaguely remember in the operational review, it's for copiers actually. They said they're looking into what the structure of the leasing agreement is and whether it's something that the board could enter into a loan or if it had to go to the town. I just had that placeholder in my mind to ask that question. I don't remember
Copy
the
or lease.
details, though.
For us.
Yeah. I believe it was related to the copier leases, not the laptop leases.
Oh, I remember that, but I
Right.
remember that they were trying to determine the structure of the copier leases, and I'm wondering if which bucket we fall into in terms of the laptop leases. Is it something that the board can just enter into themselves, or does it have to go through to the town?
It's always been entered through the board. I haven't, in my experience, seen it be entered in through the town.
Yeah, both the current laptop lease and
And the
the copier
copiers.
lease are both with the Board of Education as of right now.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Mike, when did you join on?
I joined at 7:39.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Adrian?
All right. Yeah, so 731, replace non-instructional equipment. What is that line item specifically?
That is it's a variety of things, but it's typically non-instructional equipment. In this case, has the buyout for those Chromebook, for the leased laptops. But other non-instructional equipment are things like chargers and monitors, replacement equipment, and so forth. Because again, it's the replacement of non-instructional equipment.
Oh, so 441, where it says rentals others, that's not that 130,000 increase is not the buyout of.
No,
I wrote.
that's a new rental fee. Because again, remember the
right.
rental fees were not part of the operating budget historically. DODIA money. So I just to be clear, it's not double dipping. It's purchasing the fair market value off lease so that we can repurpose them for students as backups and so forth. And this has that. Again, I would prefer not to do it, but if budget becomes very tight, we could use those purchased staff laptops as of right now, continue in their role for a 5th year, and not start in a new laptop lease. But all certified staff would keep their current laptops. We would own them instead of be leasing them, and we would be maintaining a fleet of 5-year-old laptops with degraded batteries and beat up and so forth. So just so we're all clear.
All right. So does this budget anticipate the district getting the impact aid payment? So this is our expected spend. So your expected spend is going to be something more like 3.3 million or
We're going to
something
show
like
that
that.
in the
This is on the
tracker.
tracker.
441, I don't,
No, 730.
So-
731.
So that, do we
Yeah.
think that? So do we think that we're going to get impact aid? Because I know last year we didn't think we were going to get it.
And we
ended
got
up
it.
Getting it. But this year we think we have the numbers
Are
to.
we talking about 731? Is that what you're talking about? Or 441?
Well, the impact aid kind of went back to the whole category.
Right, but I was just curious what line we were talking about.
Oh, yeah, well, we were asking about the laptop on 731, but
Okay.
the impact aid, because I think that money
It was close to
gets
500.
spread, where does that money get spent?
Historically, in the now 5th year that I've been
12
here,
years I've been here.
730, 731, 735, and 736. I start the budget process and I do a thorough inventory of everything that is needed, and it's usually a larger number, and we chip away at that, and then we do offset some of that into the impact aid dollars. That has been done since I've been here, and my understanding of my predecessor did that as well, quite a few years back.
Beverly remembers it before we even got here.
We might have done it when you and I were on the board together. So that was a few years ago.
Impact aid
Yep.
for that.
Yeah, I mean, I see that our spend was 90,000 less. The FY26 was 90,000 less than our budget, but we ended up having, how much was that? It's like 400 and
It's
something
shy of
thousand.
$500,000, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we ended up buying
Chromebooks.
more Chromebook, because I know that we were going to try to get like
Yeah,
more years out of a 7-year Chromebook. I mean, I remember this discussion last year.
Operating budget since I've been here, because those have been offset by
Supplemental went to
the supplemental funds, yeah.
Right.
And again,
I just wa-
a grade level of Chromebooks is in that 130 to 140, to $140,000 for a roughly 350 to 360 Chromebooks new for a full grade level.
It's funny how we advance. It used to be, when we started, it was the Max.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. We don't have Apple, and there are no Apple IIs left in the
lasted
district.
a long time. They were here when I got here.
Yes.
Any more questions really quick? No?
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and next, are we all done with Lori?
Yeah, I think so. We've got the health aides and
We're gonna hang around?
I can stick with this one next section. How's that?
Okay.
I think I'm probably the one that can answer the question.
yeah, you probably can.
115 and 116 and 117.
Right.
Health Services staff, function 2560.
Yeah, so this, there isn't anything in the page 115. I'm going to jump ahead to 116. This category is typically utilized for Hep B vaccinations. So these are mandatory vaccinations that we have to offer to staff who may be exposed in their job to bloodborne pathogens. So we budget a very small amount of money, so if anybody should elect those vaccines upon hire, we would provide those to them, and we just have to cover the cost of that. For whatever reason, I have no idea why, but it looks like there was some charges for health aides put into that line, 2526, but I believe that it does not go here. Isn't that correct, Rita?
well, and to be honest,
Function.
I think we should move this whole, I don't think we should be even using this function because, first of all, it's in health services, if we are providing the, like you said, Lori,
All it is vaccines.
vaccines to staff, that's a benefit and it should be voted in the benefits. It's an employee fringe, like,
$23.99. You move it to $23.
yeah, I think we should move it to 23. It's fine.
Yeah. I think that makes
But I think it should go into a 200. Because it's part of the employment process, right?
Is that line item 622?
Yes.
Okay. Mitch?
You said it, so it's for vaccines. Okay, so I'm interpreting that as a vial of the vaccine, or does that include the cost of having somebody give them the shot?
They're sent to a medical provider to get the vaccine.
Okay.
So it's the cost of the provider and the vaccine itself. Yes.
So that's why I think it should be moved from supplies to, because we're sending that, they're going to get the vaccine.
Yes, it's not administered in-house.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
It's administered by a medical provider.
And I will look at the charges that went to the 154. I think that's just incorrect and it has to be moved this year.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
So we only paid, what, $300?
Yes, that's correct. We don't get a lot of individuals that are interested, and it fluctuates year over year. Some years we get none, some years we might get a dozen. It just, you never really can tell. Yeah.
Any other questions, Lord?
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And the last one is the non-public pupil transportation, 3710. That's the function code, page 118, 119.
That's for Sacred Heart. And in law, we transport our non-public students at the Sacred Heart School. And there is a grant that can be submitted. It's not much. It's like $21,000, and it's
Oh, that's for the health aid.
oh.
I mean, the nurse.
What was the Sacred Heart transportation? Do we?
We just by law have to pay, yeah, there's no grant.
So that
And I just
the
put it,
cost of $145,000.
I just put a 3.8% increase per the STA contract. What we do is we look at the amount of students that are going to Sacred Heart, and we put a percentage to the non-public.
So that's just 2 buses.
Correct.
It's only 2 buses.
There's only 2 buses, but they also, yeah, it's actually less than 2 buses because they have other kids on there too.
And we didn't go over regular tuition. We went over special ed tuition, but there's additional cost to tuition for our POAG and our Learn Magnet, Prep Magnet, and New London Magnet. So we have a total currently of 276 students attending. And it comes at a cost, and this is for their transportation, isn't that right? Or no, for their tuition. We do not pay for the VOAG. That was the new state law, which really benefited us. But for the magnet schools, we spend we're looking to spend $703,000 in 566 on page 121. And you remember the additional special ed costs were closer to $2 million, I believe.
And you're talking about the Friendship School, RMMS, and the Marine Science.
And some schools in New London.
What about if they want to go to Isaac?
That's no cost.
No
That's
cost.
a charter school.
Okay,
Yep.
no cost.
And we don't transport them either.
The VOAG was zeroed out because that's no longer charged. But I will take a second look on the magnet school regular ed tuition, just to make sure the person.
We got them all captured.
Yeah. Because this is from November, December. I pull these numbers in December, so I just want to make sure we encumbered the right. We've been looking at our encumbrances and making sure they're accurate.
And based on that October 1 number,
Right.
we have to pay. They're sitting in the scene on October 1.
Right.
They could leave on the 2nd, and we still have
Have
to
to
pay.
pay.
They might not show up till the 2nd, and then what? We don't pay.
Right.
So,
We also, yeah. Give us the 3rd to give us a grace period.
But that got us through, guys. That's the,
So what happens to, the technical schools? Do we pay for their bus? If
Grasso, because they are in Groton, these are Groton students, we transport them.
Okay.
Same with marine science. We have to give them the same kind of transportation that we give our other kids, all kids.
Like Sacred Heart, same thing.
Sacred Heart, same thing.
Yes, yep.
We're only transporting Groton kids to Ella Grosso. We're not going to a surrounding town.
Right. There's my
They're
agenda.
responsible for getting their kids there, should they? Yeah.
Any questions on the VOAG? And the general ed transportation and the magnet school and the VOAG school?
And Lori went over the special ed piece for transportation, for tuition.
Did we leave anything out, any sections out?
No, but I have sent home to board members digitally, and I passed out to the people sitting here in preparation for next week. We have the wish list that principals provided, and I asked them to resend their priorities to me, so you have that paper. And then I also gave some suggestions, consider this or consider that, and that brought it down a little bit. But it's about $500,000 more, close to 3/4. So, and in the tracker sheet, you can see that with Rita's and the team's very good work in going through this, looking for efficiencies and reductions, we were able to move the budget from 7.7% to 6.6%. She's got the line, the function, the account, the title. She's got notes in there, and we can talk to that, and I think that would be a good place to start on Wednesday night on the 18th. So take a look at this and kind of note it yourself, and if you are going through and you see something that we haven't seen, and want to question it, or, if you are looking at additions, but we do have the increases and the decreases based on, we forgot that $15,000 for curriculum writing, we better get it in there, kind of thing. So, because when we make this your book, your budget, we want it just right, so that we can then bring it to the town and town council and RTM.
And Rita, you'll add some notes, where we ask you to add notes to the narratives?
Oh, yeah, that's a huge project, yes. On the new, with your book, the notes will be revised.
Okay, all right, thank you. Jen?
When we meet next week, can we add a column? Like, I'm anticipating it's going to work, and correct me if I'm wrong, anticipating it's going to work like last year, where we're going to say we accept the repair reduction of 10,000, and then we accept or we vote on it, or we could vote in totality, just so that we know by the end of the meeting, this is what the board agreed upon. Is that something?
Well, that's the way you did it last time.
That's the way we did it
But,
last year, unless you... go on.
Unless there's something that really, there might be something you want to discuss, too. Like, there might be some things that you really all feel pretty uniform on, and we'll kind of get through those as quickly as possible, but then the other things that you need to discuss, right?
I think a lot of these changes are to the good, right? And maybe some of the additions, if there's a discussion and I have to remove it, that's fine, but I don't see it like we're trying to get down to 5.5, like, so, like, I'll just, for example, like estimates from the town, those have been revised, so that's something that in totality you should vote on, because I don't think you would change
You
it.
don't have a choice.
Yep.
Right.
Or the directors have gone through it and said that this was doable. So if they've said it's doable, so those were the areas that we felt really confident in making the reduction. And, some increases might have been because we looked at what the actual spend was, and we took a hit last year, and we're figuring we need to adjust it this year.
Maybe we just do a grand vote, like if administration's recommending this, then we, whatever, we'll decide. We could accept like the million and then just start from there.
Yeah, that could be a way to do it, yeah.
So we're not, yeah.
So that's why I wanted to get it to you ahead of time and show it to you, so if you had any questions, I'm sorry it didn't come till this afternoon, but I wanted to make sure everybody around the table here and the ones who've gone had a say-so in this, and
Yeah. So,
And we'll, next Wednesday. Right.
I have a question.
And
Is there a way to line up these items with the page number in the book? Just the first one I picked up, line 1, function 2510. How do I find function 2510? I have to kind of
It's on
scan.
the top of the page, like, if you go to page 65, say, right?
Yeah.
Every page should have the
blue
function.
On the top of page
the functions go in
65.
order of number, right?
Yeah, if you look in the blue highlighted,
Yeah, I see that.
they go in order, but
You see that there, Mitch? On this page right here. This page. Yeah. See this says function?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you know.
Well,
So you're
I can try to add the page
function
numbers.
2510, I think.
yeah.
It might just fit right in here, this
It
little
might,
tiny
yeah.
page.
It says
How do I
right there,
find function
2510.
25?
It might fit in that extra column. Page number.
Yeah.
So now you gotta look for 2510. Here's 2510.
Yeah.
Operation and maintenance. Goes with here. You can't go.
Oh, okay, I see that, but I got to kind of skim through to find 2510.
Here, it's right there.
Okay.
Right? And then it says account 650, and you go down here, it
Yep.
says 650. You did it, but-
Did you have another suggestion?
So I just want to know the
Look,
plan
functions are on the top here.
for the additions.
2410.
Like, what's the plan next week?
Okay.
2210.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Beverly, Rita's saying, so what will the plan be? I think that we've given this out so people have time to look at it.
Right.
And as Jen suggested, if it's something that we know is a given, it was given to us by the town and we need to pay for, we have to pay for it and make it right. But, and if it's things that the staff has said they can live with, you know, so that we can then maybe go beyond the 6.6 and maybe say, what else is it that either that the board's looking for to add on or adjust
That's right.
or decrease? So look for other things too as you're going through this before Wednesday.
Right.
And we'll be able to say yay or nay, you know, that I'll be able to do that or I won't be able to do it.
And if you know in advance there's something, maybe you can shoot Susan an email. I'm thinking about this, and then
I just
they
want to
can
know
be prepared
timeline.
for that.
Will decisions be made on Wednesday and Thursday to change these numbers?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I have 2 days to do it.
I'm just asking.
I mean,
I'm not worried about these, I'm worried about the FTEs. You know, like, are we, you know, you have the wish list.
Right.
So I'm not sure how your process is of adding or subtract, or basically adding.
Adding and subtracting so that we ended up getting
Basically, it's the
a
adding,
number,
right?
but
Right.
There is some, I still have to research from tonight's meeting, but I can do that in the next few days.
I wish I could take that wish list and find a grant, but as Jen says, the grant only lasts so long.
I know.
Unless it's one of those reoccurring ones, but
How are you doing with the grant positions? What,
Lori put it in the FAQ.
okay. I'll have to look at that.
so yeah, that's the other thing. Board members, please take a look at that FAQ. If you want us to resend the link, would that help?
Yeah.
Maybe, okay.
And even print it out and bring it.
Bring it.
That would be helpful. Yeah, so that's what we should do Wednesday. Look at what the administration has. This, to to me. This is what they say they can live with, and, you know, I don't.
Who are we to contest? I mean, some of them, like retirement, attrition, you're not going to change it, right, at this point?
When she
But the-
told me, I was hooting and howling.
Any of the additions that you guys have questions on that we want to discuss next week, we can, but I'm just looking at
And also,
timeline.
we have to keep in mind, what do we think is reasonable to go to the town council? What is a reasonable increase to go to the...
Oh, right.
You have to keep that in mind, too. Okay? So we meet again next Wednesday, February the 18th at 6 o'clock. And, anybody have anything else? Okay, Dr. A, it's your turn.
Motion to adjourn.
So it's 8:16, and we, Dr. A, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mitch, and it's 8:16, your adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Our next meeting is when?